Do you love samosas? If so, then today I'm going to be teaching you how to make samosa wraps. These samosas come out crunchy and very nice. Yes, so I'm going to be teaching you two easy methods on how to make these samosa wraps. And then you can make your samosas and enjoy at home with your family. Hi, my name is Mary Brenda. Welcome to my cooking channel. Here it is all about cooking and baking. So stick around with me and see how it is done. So for the samosa, we are starting with the dough. We have some 500 grams flour, we have some water, we have some salt, and then we have some spices. As you can see, I'm going to be using mixed spices, or some call it mixed herbs. Then we're going to be using some black pepper. It is optional. And then I'm going to be using some oil and then some sugar. So in our bowl, I'm going to be adding in the ingredients. I'm going to start off by adding in the spices. Black pepper, I'm putting very little. You don't need to put a lot. It's optional. You don't need to put the black pepper. And then I'm going to be putting in my mixed spices. Also, I'm putting in very little. You don't want to overspice. You don't want the spice to overpower the rest of the fillings. And then for the salt, I put 1 tablespoon, but please don't put 1 tablespoon. Put a half tablespoon. That is quite a lot of salt. So do put half a tablespoon. And then for the sugar, I'm putting in 1 teaspoon leveled. So we add in the sugar to balance up the salt, to balance the salt level. And then the sugar also adds on that crunchiness that you're looking for. And then I'm going to be adding in some oil. The oil measurement, I'm just eyeballing. Mix the ingredients all together, and then we're going to be adding in some water. Add in the water gradually because you don't want it to be sticky. You want to be sure you put enough water, not too much, not too little. So you're going to put in as little at a time. That is adding in gradually, and then you keep mixing. So need to bring them together. Once it has formed a dough, transfer onto your floured board. I didn't flour mine, but flour yours. So then continue kneading until you get a soft dough. I'm going to be adding in some oil rather than adding flour because I want it to be soft. And then I'll leave it to rest for some time after the kneading. I'll leave it to rest for about 15 minutes. You can also leave it for half an hour so that the gluten, you give the gluten time to settle. So after our 15 minutes, I'm back again. As you can see, it is soft. I knead again. This time I'm kneading it so that I form a sausage, and then I'm going to be cutting to form balls and then ready for the rolling. Cut equal sizes, and then the same way you've tuck in for a chapati is the same way you tuck in for the samosas. So I'm going to be making my balls. If you don't know how to make the balls, check out my chapati recipe. I'm doing the same thing. So create your balls and then they'll be ready for rolling. So I'm going to make the balls first and then later start with the rolling. So I'm done with my balls. I put them aside and then I'm going to be rolling. 1 flour your board and then roll. So when you're rolling, make sure you roll equal size. I'm going to roll them small. So all the other balls should be rolled the same size. It is important because when you're putting them together, You will see the reason why it is important ahead. So I'm going to first roll all, and then I show you why it is important to roll equal size. So right there, I was done. As you can see, they're all equal sizes. I'm going to be putting my oil. Why we put the oil? We don't want the dough to stick once you're done with the roasting. So put the oil, make sure you cover all the edges, and then sprinkle some flour, and then place the next dough on top. So we're going to be putting 2 for the first method. So do the same, making sure you cover all the edges, add your flour, and then put the next dough. That is why we do equal sizes. I'm going to be doing the same for the rest, and then I'll go on to the next stage. So right there, I was done with putting all that together, and then I'm going to be rolling. So here I'm rolling, stretching it because I want it to be paper thin. So I'm going to roll, ensuring that I roll uniformly. I don't want the middle part to be hard, because once the middle part comes out too thin and the rest are a bit thick, it means it will dry out very fast. So make sure while you're rolling, you roll uniformly, ensuring you achieve the kind of thickness that you're looking for. So here we are looking for paper thin. So we are going to roll it until we get the paper thin. So right there, I have stretched it, and then I'm going to be cutting into 4 equal parts. And once I am done with that, I put them aside and do the same for the rest as well. So for our first method, we are going to be heating direct on the pan. So there I have heated my pan. I'm going to be placing the cut pieces onto the pan and then leave the heat to do its work. So once I do the same, I leave it on the heat for some time, and then once it bubbles, I turn it. So you have to first wait for it to bubble and then turn it. Other than that, do not touch it, just place it there and leave it, give it time. So once it forms that air bubble, turn it over, try to remove the air bubble. It's going to try to open at the tip. So make sure you do separate it. Try to open it so that it will be easier for you later on to separate. Now for the second method, I'm going to be using the oven method. So I do the same, but this time rather than adding 2, I'm going to be adding 4 together. So you can add 4, you can add 5, depending on how it will be easier for you. But for the oven method, if you're just trying it out the first time, do 3, 4, those should be enough. It will be easier for you to separate. Then stretch it. Do not overstretch much as you want paper thin, because it will disturb you separating later on. But here I'm going to be using them for tea bites, so I'm going to do overstretch mine. But I was just trying to show you how to create the oven method. So put on your tray and then take into your oven. Make sure you've preheated your oven a little bit. And there I'm putting in my oven, and once it bubbles, it creates that bubble, I'll be removing and then separating them gently. Do not overstretch. So for the next step, I added water with some flour mixed together to form a paste. It will act as my glue. So I already made some samosas. Now for the wraps, we're going to follow that corner 1, corner 2, corner 3. Yes. So you want to form a triangle. So you're going to bring corner 1 into the middle of corner 3. It should be in the middle. It should meet corner 3. And then you're going to do the same for corner 2. You're going to bring corner 2 to meet the middle part. So once there, you can see it has already formed the triangle. So corner 1 and corner 2 come and meet at the intersection of corner 1. So once I'm done bringing all the corners, making sure I don't leave any open holes, because I don't want my contents to pour when I put in the oil, I glue it together with my paste, water and flour mixture. And then I'm going to be doing the same for all the other wraps. Okay, so bring corner 1 to corner 3 to meet in the middle, and then do the same for corner 2. Let them meet in the middle, and then you glue. So follow that pattern, corner 1, corner 2, corner 3 to form a triangle. And then glue, and then later put in the filling. So I'm going to do the same until I finish up all my wraps. And so I'm going to be covering these other wraps that I'm done gluing. I don't want them to dry up. So right, I'm done with the filling. The filling I'm going to be using spaghetti. Yes, rather than meat, I'll be using spaghetti. For the filling, you can use any filling you want. So I parboiled the spaghetti with some salt, and then there I'm going to be filling in. So I first fill in before I close the samosa. Reason being, sometimes you may overfill it and then your filling may get done. So the first thing you do is fill all of them before you close up. So that in case you've overfilled some, you have the gap to reduce. Yes, I'm doing the same for all the samosa wraps, and then I'll be covering it. So I'm done with filling in. Now I'm going to be tucking in my samosa. So corner 1 and 2, tuck in gently, tuck in to cover up the filling. So tuck in, making sure that the corners are not open. You want them completely closed. So tuck in the same way you tuck in a shirt, like that. And then you're going to add glue and then close up. And then your samosa is ready to be fried. So we do tuck in gently and then we glue to close it up, making sure you don't leave any gap for the filling to pour out when you put in the oil. So I'm going to do the same for the rest, tuck in gently, making sure I don't leave any holes anywhere, and then glue them, and then finish up the work, ready to fry. So once you're done filling in, then fry at medium heat. Yes. So here, these are my tea bites. I'm just going to pour them into the oil later on with after I'm done. And that is it. That is how you make the samosa wraps. Thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless you.